She's like Minnie Riperton 2.0.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure. A lot cleaner, but definitely that pretty approach.
Yeah. Just that
Not as
kind of
gritty and
soar,
raw. Yeah.
like soar over the top of things.
I mean, it was an 80s record, so it's got to be cleaner. All the 80s stuff's got to be.
Actually, it's still mid-70s.
Mid-70s?
76. This is Deniece.
Are you serious?
Yeah. But
Now, see.
But it's produced by Maurice White.
Ah.
We've had this
miles
conversation before when it comes to like Earth, Wind, and Fire things, which essentially this is an Earth, Wind, and Fire record. I mean, Verdeen's playing bass on this. Maurice is on it. Freddie White's on it.
Wow. So that makes sense because that feels like an 80s record. But actually what it feels like is an Earth, Wind, and Fire record.
It totally feels like an Earth, Wind, and Fire record. Uh-oh, ads.
Wow.
So what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Lush, back here with Mr. Will. And we're doing our favorite thing in the world, back in 15, or the Band Break podcast or Box Lunch podcast. I don't know. Whatever
we'll figure it out.
And we just took a listen to Deniece Williams' Free, which, let's face it, is so apropos for the moment. So we are recording this in the middle of a international global pandemic.
Joy.
Caused by the COVID-19 virus. Thankfully, nobody in my house is sick. Will, how about you?
Not at all. Everyone's good. Everyone's breathing easily, as a matter of fact.
So so that's incredible.
That's dope.
So yeah, man, how are you guys dealing with the foolishness?
Man, we're together. And that's
a real thing.
And you wouldn't, it really is, man. And it's like, with the scary time and function of the world, it's like I can look my kids in the face 24/7 and go, all right, you're okay.
Yeah.
And that's it's fine. It's fine for me.
Yeah.
I'm going a little stir crazy, but who isn't,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, I can grab my kids up in a hug and it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
So
how are you?
I'm good too, man. So I've got little kids.
Like little kids.
My oldest kid is 6. And my younger kid is like,
oh my goodness,
2, almost 3.
Yeah.
And it is quite a circus over here. But it's, it's the same sentiment, It's like, they're here. I can hold them close. I can scold them if I need to. I can get jumped on in the bed.
Yep.
It's totally fine. It's not like, we're 3 hours apart or even 30 minutes apart.
Right.
Like I live like 15 minutes from my parents and I haven't seen them in real life.
That's got to be crazy. Yeah.
Weeks.
Right.
So yeah, it's just like one of those super weird things where, it's just like, I was talking to a friend the other day and it was like the ubiquity with which this thing has overtaken the globe is it's staggering to think about, right? Because when you're trying to do the math on this and you're like, okay, cool, well, it's like this emergency thing that's happened in such and such a place. But then there are other parts of the world or even the country that are unaffected by such
Sure.
and such a thing.
Sure.
And life can sort of continue, albeit sort of inconvenienced.
Sure.
Right. But it's like where we are now, I mean, everybody's being affected by the same thing
The planet.
at the same time.
Sure.
And it's like the only way that life continues is by people risking themselves to do so.
Right.
You know, and that's like the part that is sort of hard to get your mind around.
Sure.
So it's like for some people, you know, like for you and me, where we're just in the house and, you know, maybe we run outside to get some groceries and come home, it's pretty chill. But then it's like you have those people that literally have to, you know, take their life into their hands to, you know, take your money at a Wendy's drive-thru or something.
Ugh.
And it's just like, you know, it's kind of mind-blowing, you know, and I'm like incredibly grateful to them. And I think a lot of people in this time are sort of seeing, you know, this crazy disparity about what it's like to have and what it's like to need.
Right.
And then it's like the fact that the having people are, you know, even more dependent on the needing people.
Sure.
It's like glaring at this very moment.
Right.
You know, so it's, you see all these things on the news where people are like applauding the healthcare workers and all that kind of stuff. And that is absolutely the thing to do.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But it's like, let's also applaud the poor people that are still working at Home Depot so you can get some paint to paint your back door.
Right.
Project, you know?
Or the gas station worker or the fast food worker or what, like all of them.
Yeah.
Because they should have been being applauded long before this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole because it's mind blowing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So with that backdrop, I was working on a house project as I tend to do when I have time.
Sure. And you have lots of that right now.
And this Deniece Williams song "Free" came on, and you know, I'm like listening on my headphones, and you know, there's just this beautiful sort of ethereal piano stringy woodwindy thing happening up front.
Right.
And you're like, oh, this is cool and different.
Right.
And at first, like, I didn't put it together like what I was listening to.
Sure.
And then there's like that pickup in the Rhodes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just kind of like
coalesces in this funky mess.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're like, wait, okay, this is beautiful and sort of floaty. And then in literally 2 beats,
right,
it just becomes this mass. It's just like a black hole that pulls you right to the centered and it's grounded. And, you know?
Sure.
And then there's like something about that boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Yes.
Just, it's like, it's groovy, but there's something about it that's like sort of menacing. It's just like, there's like this sort of relentlessness about it, where it's just like, you're like trying to just like, you know, but then you look over your shoulder and the monster's coming, you know, you know, like, okay, I can outrun it, you know, and then it's like, you know, but but in the coolest way.
Sure.
You know?
See, like, I've never thought of it that way. Yeah, come get me.
Chase me, bro.
I've never, like I get whatever. Like, I'd never thought of it that way, but hearing it described that way, that's exactly what it is. Because it feels like a menacing presence.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just always sort of hunting you down, you know, but it like, and even if it overtakes you, like, it doesn't hurt.
Right.
Just like, you're still there. Okay.
Right. Oh. And it's the stringy plush Wurlitzery, you know, incredible delay stuff with that menacing thing underneath. It's really strange. Like this is the first time.
Last part again. This Wurlitzer stuff is so what?
The Wurlitzer, it's so plush.
Yeah.
But over top of that menacing function, it's like I said, I've never even thought of it this way, but like I'm hearing the record in my head. It's like, yeah, it really does feel like that. Yeah. Like Inspector Gadget.
Yeah. And then it's like on top of that, there's this other sort of Deniece thing.
Yeah.
It's like the vocals and like Deniece's lead vocal on top of that.
Sure.
It's just like floating over this thing. I was gonna be free.
Yeah. Know? And what makes the record really cool, and it's even again, this is the first time I'm saying this out loud out of my mouth, because the first time I'm having this thought.
Yeah.
Is the fact of the strange juxtaposition of those three levels.
That's exactly. I was gonna make that point. Yeah.
It's like it's uncomfortable. It's like there's a tension there that these three things don't really belong together.
Totally.
And they're living here, and it's fine.
Yeah.
And it's like somebody might get mad. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Man.
Wow. It's a way to think of it.
Yeah. And it's like that same sort of, eighth quarter groove in the Al Green song.
Sure. Oh yeah,
yeah. So in love with you.
It's so in love. So in love. Yeah, that tune.
Yeah, it's a similar groove, and it's a similar kind of feeling.
Yeah,
I think it is sort of grounded in a different way.
Sure,
because Al's vocal is sort of more grounded to what's happening in the record.
Sure,
as opposed to floating over top of it, which is God, he's so good at that.
Yeah, that's what he does. But it's interesting because I never even realized that zoom zoom gang doom doom. That's a Memphis thing.
Yeah.
And that Deniece record was not that until this moment. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, oh wow.
Yeah.
Like this is that?
Yeah.
Sheesh. With that lush New York string orchestra thing and that's a whole different record to me now.
It's a whole other situation, man.
Ooh.
And it's, it's like the theme of the show, right? Like we keep coming back to these tunes that we've heard. And I'm like, as I'm looking at the wiki page for this song.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of covers is staggering.
Unbelievable.
Right? Bone Thugs and Harmony, Jeanne with Gene Baylor. Some Polish jazz guy covered it. Shantae Moore.
Right.
Who else is in here? In Vogue performed it on a DVD. Marcus Miller did it.
Wow.
Seal did it.
Wow.
Will Downing did it. It's like Walter Beasley's like you hear it.
Yeah. And go ahead, please.
You go back and like really hear it.
It's like, oh.
And it's like, oh, wait, I see now.
Oh, yeah, because it's interesting because it's the records that make you feel not good, but uncomfortable that have that kind of appeal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I get this is I may be completely, off the mark here, but like when a record feels like I'm like this, like it's.
We'll have to come up with a word for that.
Yeah, definitely, because it's a thing.
Yeah.
But it's like that's the appeal. That's what it's supposed to feel like, because it's we make the mistake of trying to make everything perfect, and the perfection is not even real, and then we end up getting a sterile record.
Yeah.
But when we go, let's just try it, and all of a sudden you get Memphis and lush and beautiful over top and it shouldn't fit together, and all of a sudden there's this magical, eerie thing that happens that you've hit the mark.
Yeah.
Like even the Wurlitzer solo in the middle of it, it's like we would, with our training and education, blah 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 blah, we would think, oh man, he's not really playing. It's not really that good. But
or why even have that in there at all?
Exactly. But
in today's musical climate,
exactly,
you can't have like a 16-bar piano jazz solo.
It just doesn't make sense,
right?
But like that record isn't that record without that solo in there,
right?
At all.
Right.
Like it's not the same. I'm getting chills thinking about it. Like, and I feel like I just heard that record. Like, I've listened to that thing a zillion times. Like, that thing is like not even in the back of my mind. That record, I know the parts to that record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now in this discussion, it's like somebody just dropped the needle for the first time. I'm like, whoa, what's this?
It's fun, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope. It's dope. Yeah, it's dope.
All right. Let me see. There's something else that's been on my... Well, there's two things that's sort of been on my mind. Something for longer than another.
Okay.
But I want to see if I can find this other thing first.
Another one that's in my... Like, completely in my ears.
Yeah. So for those of you keeping score at home, we're now listening to Teddy Pendergrass Close the Door. Which, just go listen to it. We'll be here listening. You go listen.
Man, that record feels like a Marvin record, like a Michael record, like a and in the sense that there are artists that they put out good records, you know. It's and then there are, when you hear their voice and you hear the whole package of the record, it's like, I need to take a minute and just listen to this. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's so many pieces of this that are just like, who thought of that?
Oh my goodness.
It's like, in the early part of the vamp at the end, there's that line that right?
Yeah.
Which the line itself is retarded. Like, it's incredibly good. But it's like the way that it sort of lays against the groove is another layer.
The time. Yes.
But the part that like just took me out just now is like what instruments in the arrangement are playing it.
Yeah.
It's like flute over here.
Right.
And then like acoustic, like electric guitar over here.
Electric guitar. Right.
Like doing it together. And I'm like, yo, that is so bad.
It's bananas. It feels like the rhythm section played the song through, and it was an ill rhythm section, and they came up with all these nasty little parts. You know how we do, just play this thing, and it's
vibing it.
They said, all right, and then they double that, and then let's put something on top of that. Let's put some strings on top. Like, the string lines in this thing are literally piano parts.
I know.
They're beautiful piano parts that or guitar lines or whatever. Like, they just did that.
Man, they're like, something that stood out to me on this listening of it was in that second chorus. So like in the verses, you know, it's like, it's just like these little hits. Ba, ba,
Yeah.
Ba, ba. But then in the second chorus, there's like this like
yeah.
Whole other like counterpoint that's happening as he's saying, I've waited all day long, you know. And it's like the cinematic thing that happens.
Sure.
Right? With the combination of that lyric, I've waited all day long to get you in my arms. And then it's like when the strings come in with that, the listener can only like picture this person actually meeting up with their love interest.
Yeah.
Right? It's like we've all had that moment, right? It's like you've been waiting to see the person forever, and then you hear the person, and cliche in your mind, there are violins. Well, Teddy got the frickin' violins.
Exactly, because in my mind,
you're
on that record
again.
that happened.
Man, stop,
you know what I mean?
Zoom on dial-up. What did you say?
What I said was, in my mind, it's those lines from this song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's that.
Yeah. It's man.
So what's really striking to me is things like the drum part. All night.
Yeah.
Quarter note on the hi-hat, 2 and 4, mom and dad on the kick and snare.
Yeah.
The whole time. And so it leaves room for all the other beauty.
Right. It's like, this is an R&B record, so we have to have a drum set. I don't want you to do anything else.
Exactly. Like, stay right there.
And here's the funny part about that as a musician, right? Like, it takes a really incredible drummer to do that.
Oh my God, absolutely.
You know? Like, for as simple as that part is, it takes the maturity of like a 90-year-old man.
Absolutely.
To be capable of doing that for 6 minutes or whatever. And
oh goodness.
And to be okay with it.
Right. To
like
be
that,
egotistically, yeah.
Right. Like, exactly. I was gonna say, like, that's the part where you have to be like, you know what? My ego doesn't matter.
Right. It ain't about me at all.
Not even 2 iotas.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Boom. Boom, boom. That's all you could do. Boom. Boom, boom. And nothing else.
And so I first came to the song. My mom had this on vinyl.
Ugh. Yeah.
And I remember like being at my grandparents' house, and I was like, okay, let me just, I've seen this Teddy thing. Let me put this on. And I was in like high school or something at my grandparents' house. Put this record on, and like I was a super music nerd then. Like, I'm music nerdy now, but like back then, I was also like a high school music nerd.
Sure.
So I was like, yo, this R&B song has French horns. do they is that allowed?
Is that, you supposed to do that? Wait.
Is that cool? Like, can you
do that?
Let me check the rule book.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and forget about like the way that Teddy tells the story.
Oh my gosh. That's a whole nother discussion, man.
It is.
Like, he is like, they're singers, it's the same thing I said before. There are singers, and they make good records. But when Michael sings, or Marvin sings, or Prince sings, and when Teddy sings, it's like you feel like you're drawn in, because it's literally, I'm not singing, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
And
like toward the end of that song, he's like, "Come here, babe," like that.
Yeah.
That, like, iconic line.
Like, like, exactly. You're like, you talking me?
I'm like looking around to make sure that my doors are closed.
Right. Like, everything's just like you want it, Ted. It's all good.
Yeah, I don't want no trouble, sir.
Exactly. No, it's real.
Yeah.
Like, Stephanie Mills.
Yeah.
Feel the fire.
True.
And you could tell before the rehearsal, before the recording, there was no rehearsal. It was like, yeah, come on in, let's just try this. And it was awful, but it's amazing because of his storytelling thing.
Yeah.
I think we need to go to the tape.
You know I'm going.
Got to. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Let's go. And the first thing that pops up should be this live recording of it.
Oh, you got a live? Hold up. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Play that because it's.
Yeah, they're like holding hands and.
Yeah. Let's go.
Running.
Man, I had to stop the record because it was too much. I mean, it's it's like he could tell a story, man. He could tell a story.
Yeah.
In a way that was wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like I'm teary-eyed right now. It's like, he was a beautiful, beautiful man.
Now break it down a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you had to advise a vocalist, a chanteuse or chanteur, if you will, how to tell a story, what would you tell such a student?
You know what? The first thing I would tell them is that how can I say this? When you're getting to telling a story, you have to divorce it from the vocal performance.
Go on.
From the pitch and the phrasing and the blah 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 blah, all this trained to focus on, and focus on speaking the truth and speaking true. Because what any storyteller has in common is that they have a very intimate understanding and relationship with the truth. Even if the truth is for that 3 or 4 minutes, there is a truth involved. And even if the truth isn't the lyric, there's a truth inside of you that needs to come out and come through. You know what I mean? And you have to be committed to the telling of the truth, independent of the pitch and the phrasing and the blah, 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 because those things you can't control. But what you can control is your commitment to the truth. And if you commit to the truth, no matter how well you sing, no matter how well you sing, it's going to be beautiful. Like, for example, do you remember We Are the World?
Absolutely.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. Like, now it sounds good, Tom. And it may sound good, but the reality is, for him in that moment, it was the absolute truth. And so it makes the hair stand up on the back of our necks. You know what I mean?
Coincidentally,
that is everything.
On the YouTubes, you can find the documentary about the making of that We Are the World thing.
Yeah.
Boy, what a time.
I haven't seen it. I'm going to check it out.
What a time, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's like 45 minutes or something. It's like,
sure.
Like shot for ABC or something.
Yeah.
But
like a promo thing.
Man, the story, like, and it's like, it's sort of hard to not to go on this tangent, but to go on this tangent.
Come on.
Like, it's hard to fathom that much star power in one room.
Yeesh.
You know?
Dude, from all different genres of music, and
yeah,
like Lionel Richie to Kenny Rogers it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah.
And then the band was crazy. All right. So in the band, John Barnes on keys and arranging, David Paich, Michael Bodiger, Paulino DaCosta on percussion, Lewis Johnson on synth bass.
Wow.
Michael O'Martian,
Sheesh.
Greg Fillinganes, and J.R. Robinson.
Yeah, that's bananas. It's bananas.
Is this it? Is this? And then
what do you say to that?
Soloists: Lionel Richie, Stevie Wonder, Paul Simon, Kenny Rogers, James Ingram, Tina Turner, Billy Joel, Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, Dionne Warwick, Willie Nelson, Al Jarreau, Springsteen, Kenny Loggins, Steve Perry, Daryl Hall, Huey Lewis, Cyndi Lauper, Kim Carnes, Bob Dylan, Ray Charles.
Exactly.
Chorus: Dan Aykroyd, Belafonte, Lindsey Buckingham, Mario Cipollina, John Cola, Sheila E., Bob Geldof, Bill Gibson, Chris Hayes, Sean Hopper, Jackie Jackson, LaToya Jackson, Marlon Jackson, Randy Jackson, Tito Jackson, Waylon Jennings,
right,
Bette Midler, John Oates, Jeffrey Osborne, the Pointer Sisters, and Smokey.
Sheesh. Like, you don't in the same room?
In the same room at the same time.
Word.
Yo, if I worked at that studio, I'd be a nervous wreck.
As would I. I'd be
just like, okay, just make sure that because like Tape Machine 2 was on the Fritz that week.
Exactly. So it was shortened on track 23.
and they did it in one night. It was like they did it over the weekend. It was like they came and played like the basic rhythm section stuff like on a Thursday, and then people started coming in at like 5:00 Friday night or something like that, and then they were cutting like solo performances until like 4 the next morning. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness,
it's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's how you make a record, though, man. It's beautiful.
I mean, that's how you make a record, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
But back to your point.
Yeah.
Back to your question.
Yeah.
Of how would I advise someone, a student or a singer, to tell a story?
Yeah.
So abandon everything you know and just tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like don't affect to sing in a way that tells a story. Like, close your eyes and tell the story. Make yourself cry. Be honest. Be real. You know, if you break down in tears in the booth, that's good. Because now we're getting to the truth. That's first. Everything else is secondary.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's interesting, like the way that
you agree.
I do agree. I mean, it's one of those things like where I've never really tried to do the math on what that means to tell the story versus sing the song. But that advice about divorcing the story from the technical requirements of the music is an interesting challenge.
Sure.
But then I think it's incredibly poignant advice. And then, like, as I'm doing the math on this right now, I'm like, is it possible, which I feel like it would have to be, to do this on another instrument?
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. In fact, text doesn't matter. An artistic expression in its truest form is telling the truth, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there is a truth, you know? And that's what sets the men from the boys apart, or the girls from the women, or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you tell the truth.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're
tell the
right.
truth.
But you know, I mean, it's interesting that we get on this conversation about the truth, because I had a friend. Um, I played this jam session one time, and a buddy of mine was there also playing drums. He might have been the house drummer that night, and I played my couple of songs, and he was just like incredibly complimentary of my playing. And he's like, "Man, I love like whenever you get up there, man, it's just honest." And like, I had no idea what the heck that meant.
Right.
You know?
And I don't think he did either, but he felt something.
And I've been like trying to like piece together what, like, you get the assignment from your English teacher, like, what do you think this passage meant? I've literally been trying to complete that assignment for like the last 15 years.
Right.
It's like, thanks, man. Like in the moment, you're like, oh man, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Sure.
And then, you spend the rest of your life trying to figure out what it is to be honest, and then to not screw it up.
Sure.
Like that's the thing.
And here's the thing I think about that though. I don't think you can.
I don't know about that.
Huh.
I don't know about that, because I feel like, at least for me, maybe it's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for me, like I can get a compliment like that and then like get in my head about it.
Sure. So here's the caveat. Here's the caveat. If you take the compliment as anything more than a compliment and don't use it for as input,
yeah,
like people are gonna compliment because you can't. You know what I mean? People are going to compliment you. People are going to not like your playing. People are going to love your playing. And you take that just as information and keep that separate from your playing.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But if everything someone says to you, good or bad or indifferent, affects your playing, yeah, you're going to mess it up.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So,
That's
I mean,
absolutely right.
Yeah, compliments and criticisms are information.
Yeah.
And information only in as far as, your willingness to take it and affect your playing. And it shouldn't affect your playing because your playing is your playing.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I got.
Wormhole.
All right.
Oh, goodness.
So I was going to just read you this poem, and then
okay.
And then we can talk about it from there.
Okay.
This guy writes, if it's magic, then why can't it be everlasting? Like the sun that always shines, like the poets in this rhyme, galaxies in time. If it's pleasing, then why can't it be never leaving, like the day that never fails? Like on seashores there are shells, like the time that always tells. It holds the key to every heart throughout the universe. It fills you up without a bite and quenches every thirst. So if it's special, then with it, why aren't we more careful, as making sure we dress in style, posing pictures with a smile, keeping danger from a child? It holds the key to every heart throughout the universe. It fills you up without a bite and quenches every thirst. So, if it's magic, why can't we make it everlasting, like the lifetime of the sun? It will leave no heart undone, for there's enough for everyone.
Everyone. I know those lyrics like the inside of my hand. And again, I've heard them for the first time just now.
So this song by Stevie Wonder Gang, if you don't know it, please, for the love of God, stop watching this and go listen to If It's
Check it out.
This song is like one of my favorite pieces of art ever created by man.
Facts.
I mean,
and you know, I don't even go in for cliches like that, but facts.
I mean, like everything about it, like the depth of the lyricism, the presentation of it on the record, like the instrumentation of the harp and the harmonica and the mellotron or whatever the heck is going on in that magical studio of his. You know, it's just like everything about this is just like earth shattering to my core. But I, you know, like years and years ago, you and I were on this production together, and phenomenal singer Mesa sang the song with a now deceased guitar player named Chuck Loeb, who's incredible musician. And so as part of this Christmas show, there was a moment in the show. I was doing the audio mix, and Will was directing and playing keyboards. Part of the show was going to be this duet between Mesa and Chuck singing If It's Magic. And we had a few rehearsal days, like in a rehearsal studio, prior to doing the actual gig. And I remember, like, we were on the first day of rehearsals, getting ready to stop for lunch. And, you know, like you're just going through the rehearsal motions, and the band leader says, you know, hey, do you want to just try a little bit of If It's Magic? And so, you know, they're like, sure, yeah, it's no problem. People are kind of like milling about and, you know, putting their instruments down, kind of washing up for lunch and stuff. And Mesa and Chuck started doing this song, and like time stopped. Do you remember this?
I remember like it was yesterday. Like it was yesterday.
Like everybody stopped what they were doing in the room. It felt like the sun stopped moving in the sky.
Yeah, cars drive the street, just eased on the brakes, and just it was amazing. It was
like birds were literally hovering in midair when they like, and it was just like the most beautiful thing. And at that moment was sort of like the first time that I'd really heard the lyrics to this song, you know. And then since then, I'm just kind of like, okay, my bad, Stevie,
my fault, right? Like, you know? I blew it. No, I do.
And then, like, it sort of brings up our last discussion about, you know, this idea of like unpacking what honesty is.
Eesh.
And like one of my favorite things about this song is making wild guesses, or not even wild guesses, just applying these lyrics to what it is that is so magical. You know, there's like a lot of things that could be, right?
It could be anything.
It's like, it could be life, it could be love, it could be, you know, Tonka trucks.
It could be existence.
Right. Right. You know, but it's so like, it's so damning. You know, like the level of conviction in this thing is like,
yes.
If it's special, then why with it aren't we more careful?
Woo.
Just making sure they dress in style, posting pictures of the child, keeping danger from a child, right? If you profess that this thing is so great, why are you so flippant about it?
Why are you acting funky? Dude, it's like, to me, it sounds like a 4-year-old saying, yeah, but that doesn't make, what are you talking about? Like a 4-year-old who doesn't have the experience, quote unquote, and all the life's reality to cloud their clarity. A 4-year-old going, but if it's dope, then why don't you just keep it dope? Like, why are we, like, what else is there? It feels, and as of late, because you know about my later convictions, it feels like an indictment of capitalism. Like,
in what way?
And it's like do I want to go down this rabbit hole? I guess I'm here now.
I mean, I pulled the string. That's my fault.
So we profess to cherish childhood. We profess to cherish life and love and beauty and art and blah, 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 blah. But we do everything we do in the pursuit of money, to the detriment of childhood, of life, of love, of liberty, of truth, of art. And we do it in such a way that we kill those things. And so it sounds like the song is calling us liars. Like, don't lie to me.
Right.
It's heavy.
It's so heavy. And like, that's one of the things that is so interesting about the song is like, it can be so heavy.
Sure.
But the presentation of it is just the sweetest morsel.
Right.
You know, like we go back to the juxtaposition that we did earlier with Richie Williams, right? It's like this idea of, you know, that sort of relentless thing coming to get you juxtaposed against this beautiful soaring melody.
Right.
You know? And here in Stevie's work, you get, you know, this incredibly stern conviction, you know, but it's given to you in the most loving of ways.
In a lullaby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's and it's more aggressively indicting because it's emotionally indicting.
Yeah.
It's not, it doesn't feel like the Deniece record feels like a train coming at you.
Right.
This feels like, you really ain't shit, are you? It feels like that.
It's true. It's true.
You know what I mean? It feels like you're lying. Like, I know you're lying, and why are you lying?
Yeah.
And it feels like Mr. Rogers calling you a liar.
It does. Wow. That's an incredible way to put it. Interesting. Yeah.
That's how it feels to me, right? Like, in this moment.
Yeah.
Because I just heard the lyrics for the first time, the 1,000th time.
I mean, that's what I'm here for.
That's what you do that. You do that aggressively. Oh my gosh.
Well, listen, man, that's all I had for today.
Yeah, that's good. That's clean. That was a great talk.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, keep your hands clean.
I promise.
And also wash them.
And I'll keep hallelujah. People don't even know the math behind that.
That's really true.
Yeah, man.
Well, hey, everybody. Thank you for checking out whatever the name of the show is called. And we'll see you on the next one.